Have you ever stopped and wondered why dinosaurs ruled the land, the skies, even parts of the air, but never the ocean? Think about that for a second. These creatures conquered Earth for 160 million years. They grew into the biggest predators ever to walk the planet. They flew, they adapted, they survived everything except one thing, the ocean. For all their dominance, not one true dinosaur ever took the plunge. And that's not just strange, it's impossible to ignore. Because while mammals went from land to sea in record evolutionary time, giving us whales, seals, and dolphins, dinosaurs never figured it out. Why? The answer reveals one of evolution's weirdest unsolved mysteries, and the shocking truth about why being perfect on land meant dinosaurs could never rule the deep. First, let's clear something up, because I know what you're already typing in the comments. Plesiosaurs? Not dinosaurs. Mosasaurs? Not dinosaurs. Ichthyosaurs? Definitely not dinosaurs. Those were marine reptiles, distant evolutionary cousins, not part of the dinosaur family tree. They just look like dinosaurs because they lived at the same time. So when we talk about dinosaurs ruling the oceans, the truth is they never did. In 233 million years of evolution, not a single species became fully aquatic. Zero. Which is crazy when you realize that today's whales went from land mammals to full-blown sea giants in just 10 million years. So what stopped dinosaurs, the most successful land animals in history, from ever taking the dive? Well, some actually tried. Let's start with the almosts. Take modern birds, the last surviving dinosaurs. Penguins can dive 1,500 feet deep. Albatrosses can fly over open ocean for years without touching land. Ducks, puffins, gannets, they live half their lives in water. Close, but not all the way. They still breathe air, nest on land, and depend on dry ground to survive. They never fully crossed over, but in the age of dinosaurs, there were others that came even closer. Meet the Spinosaurids, the strangest predators evolution ever designed. Imagine a T-Rex and a crocodile fused together. Long crocodilian snouts packed with cone-shaped teeth, perfect for catching fish. Nostrils pushed high up on their skulls to breathe while half submerged. Dense, powerful tails that could move side to side like an oar. These things were built for water. They hunted in rivers, they ate fish. Some scientists think they even swam. In 2020, paleontologists discovered fossil tails from Spinosaurus aegyptiacus that were so flexible and flattened, they functioned like a giant propeller. For a moment, it looked like we'd finally found our first swimming dinosaur. But there was a problem. Spinosaurus wasn't truly aquatic. It was semi-aquatic. Its bones still had air pockets. Its legs were built for walking. It could swim, sure, but it couldn't live in the water. The ocean was still off limits. Then came something even weirder. Halscaraptor? Picture a mini velociraptor with the body of a duck, flipper-like arms, a long neck filled with nerves that could detect vibrations underwater, a skeleton perfectly balanced for paddling instead of running. It looked like evolution's best attempt at a water raptor. But again, almost. It hunted near water. It could dive, but it never gave up life on land. It's as if evolution kept trying over and over again to create a water dinosaur, but something always stopped it. So what was the barrier? Turns out there wasn't just one. There were many. The first and biggest was competition. When dinosaurs evolved, the oceans were already spoken for. Massive marine reptiles like ichthyosaurs and plesiosaurs had already mastered the sea. These creatures were streamlined, fast, efficient, predators built for the deep. By the time dinosaurs showed up, the oceans were a closed ecosystem. Every niche was filled, from top hunters to deep divers. There was no room left. If you were a land dinosaur and decided to dip your toes in the water, you'd be instantly outcompeted or eaten. The second problem? Eggs. Dinosaurs laid hard-shelled eggs, perfect for dry land, fatal in water. Those calcium carbonate shells allowed gas exchange with air, but underwater, they'd fill with water and suffocate the embryo. Even high humidity can drown bird eggs. Full submersion would be instant death. And while other reptile groups evolved live birth, snakes, lizards, even some marine reptiles, dinosaurs never did. That's because dinosaurs belonged to a group called archosaurs, alongside crocodiles. And archosaurs almost never evolved live birth. Their entire reproductive system was hardwired for laying eggs, which means no matter how much they adapted, they could never raise their young underwater. Their success on land became their prison. But that wasn't their only design flaw. Dinosaurs had hollow bones filled with air sacs, a brilliant system that made them light, fast, and efficient on land. The same system that powers flight in birds today, but underwater, it's a disaster. All that air turns you into a living pool floaty. Try diving and your body pops right back to the surface. To become fully aquatic, dinosaurs would have had to completely rebuild their skeletons. Denser bones, shorter limbs, heavier muscles. Evolution doesn't just hand out redesigns like that overnight. It's the same reason penguins, which are perfect divers, still still need to come up for air and spend time on land. Their bones are dense, but not enough to live underwater forever. And then there's the breathing issue. Those air sacs that made dinosaurs such efficient land breathers, underwater they'd collapse. Pressure would crush them. Modern diving birds have to force air out of those sacs before every dive just to survive the descent. Dinosaurs couldn't do that. Their very lungs worked against them. Even if they solved all of that, like the eggs, the bones, the breathing, there was one last problem: size. Dinosaurs were massive. The average adult weighed almost 4 tons, more than a pickup truck. And here's the thing: every animal that successfully transitioned to the ocean started small. The ancestors of whales were little dog-sized mammals running along riverbanks. The ancestors of seals were small otters. Evolution starts small because water requires finesse before it rewards size. Dinosaurs were already giants. Their bulk, their greatest strength on land, made them clumsy and inefficient in water. They were trapped by their own success. So what would it have looked like if they did make it? Well, nature gave us a glimpse. A group of crocodile relatives called matriorhynchids actually did go fully aquatic. They lost their heavy armor plates, evolved sleek, smooth skin, flippers for limbs, and a tail fluke that looked like a shark's. They became reptilian dolphins, apex predators of the Jurassic seas. If dinosaurs had followed that same path, a marine T-Rex might have looked similar. Smooth skin, paddle arms, powerful tail, maybe even live birth after millions of years of adaptation. But evolution doesn't work on wishful thinking. Once a species locks into a successful path, reversing direction becomes almost impossible. Dinosaurs had chosen land, and they chose it too well. Ironically, they got their second chance and lost it again. 66 million years ago, when the asteroid hit, it wiped out almost every large predator on land and in the ocean. Suddenly, the seas were empty. Perfect opportunity for dinosaurs to make the leap. But it was too late. The only survivors were birds, tiny, lightweight descendants focused on flight, not diving. The ocean doors had finally opened, but the dinosaurs who might have walked through them were already gone. Could it ever happen now? Maybe. Some seabirds are already evolving deeper diving abilities. Penguins are close. Albatrosses live entirely at sea. Given a few million years in the right conditions, they might just finish what their ancestors started. But if that day ever comes, it'll mean Earth has changed again. Drastically. Because full aquatic adaptation takes pressure, competition, and chaos. And that's not good news for anyone watching it happen. So what does this really tell us? That evolution isn't about perfection. It's about compromise. Dinosaurs were too good at being dinosaurs. Their skeletons, eggs, and lungs were perfect for land, and that perfection became their cage. They ruled everything except the one place that could have saved them: the oceans. And maybe that's the lesson. Sometimes being the best locks you out of becoming something more. So next time you see a whale breaching the surface or a penguin diving under the ice, then remember this: you're watching the world that dinosaurs could never conquer. And it's proof that sometimes the greatest mysteries in evolution aren't about what happened, but what didn't. Now, click the next video. It's not about dinosaurs, but it'll make you rethink everything you know about survival.